Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs, and it's been a while since a new series came out. I was on the same series for nearly a month at this point, and it's probably because I was fasting and I needed a lot of sleep. Otherwise, I'd get too hungry. And yes, this did happen during last year. So last year I was fasting when I was uploading daily. However, it's because I was very hyperactive before, and over time I got bored of being so hyper. And yeah, it's not that I got bored of making YouTube or anything. It's just that I got a bit, you know, yeah, like making them every day while fasting, going to school, doing all this stuff. And my GCSEs are coming out soon, so I will have to cut down on the videos. I mean, I can still make them. However, sometimes I will have to like take a break here and there because of revision, and of course during my breaks, like thing during after revising, I will get time to record that. I will take at least 3 hours off of one whole day. I mean, I'll stay in school for 6 hours, so come back, have to sleep for 8 hours, so there we go. With 14 hours I have 10 hours, and I have to revise at least 46, so I have 4 hours to myself at the very least if I revise 6 hours a day. And if I revise for 4, of course I will have 6 hours to myself. However, I will have to revise 6 because I'm dumb as fuck. Anyway, of course I am sorry for making you guys wait and you guys have to listen to this. And if you want to unsubscribe, you can, because the what ifs haven't been as good as lately. I know some people are really enjoying them, but most people are not, and I'm sorry for that. We did hit 18k the other day, and we're already on 18.1k, which is very, very surprising because I have barely been uploading. But everything has gone down my analytics again, but that doesn't really matter for now. Right now I just want to make videos. And anyway, this is what if Naruto was raised or grew up in the wilderness. What I mean by this is that one day Naruto decides to actually live away from the people because he's had enough. He doesn't want to be with them anymore because of all the things that they've done to him, and all those times that he did nothing and he still got in trouble for. He didn't want to go through that ever again, and he told the Hokage that he's just going to go into the mountains, and just live there until he has to come back, or he feels like it, because it doesn't really matter. After all, no one really cares about him, and he doesn't really care about anyone else. And the Hokage actually saw this as an opportunity for Naruto to actually get away from all this abuse, and of course he accepted. Naruto was happy, and he actually went off. Naruto did go on his own, and pretty much built himself a shack. Not a shack, but of course the Hokage helped out and gave him the materials, but he built himself a little hut for himself, and started living on his own, away from others, so he wouldn't actually go through the abuse that he used to go through every day. And anyway, now Naruto and well, of course everyone grew up the same, other than Naruto actually helping out Hinata. However, I don't think I'm going to make a Hinata ship here. I don't think I'm going to make a ship in this one, but it depends on how I feel. And anyways, now of course Naruto, and well, he was on his own and he didn't have any shops or anything, so and plus, even if though the Hokage gave him money to go and buy himself food, he didn't want to go because he didn't want to see anyone from the village anymore because of all the things that happened to him. And anyways, Naruto doesn't really enjoy spending time with the villagers, and he has realized, he actually did 1+1. He realized that there is no point of him trying, because no one wants to be his friend, or no one really likes him, and so he just wants to, he quit, and he's not going to try to get people's attention like he used to. And now, of course, he's on his own, and he's, of course, we've seen in a filler where Naruto was in the mountains, and like he was training. Even like we've seen it, he was like training, and he caught a fish or something, and then he had it with the Hokage, the third Hokage. Of course, it was filler. It's not real, but this is actually where I got this idea from. I was just rewatching some of Naruto episodes, and I'm like, what if Naruto grew up like that instead of actually being in the village? Like, that's actually kind of mad, you know. And anyway, so I wanna give it a shot and see how this does. Of course, it's not gonna be the best series, or some people may not like it. However, Naruto, of course, during this time, since he's on his own most of the time, he doesn't really get that education, and he's not really educated in how to treat others, and so he treats them just like he treats the animals near him. And he does make one friend out of all the people there, and it was actually one of the villagers. Yes, one of the villagers actually doesn't live like in the main part of the village, and he actually lived off in the wild, just like Naruto. Not in the wild, but more like a little hut in the mountains. And yes, he does meet Naruto, and he actually knew Naruto was living there because of all the commotion he was making, like every time he used to train on his own. And anyways, now the villager was actually quite old at the time, because he was actually a veteran shinobi, and he fought in the second and third Great Ninja War. So he was a bit like Jiraiya, but he wasn't literally his age. He was actually a bit older than Jiraiya. I'd say 20, roughly 30 years older than Jiraiya. So even older than the Hokage. But anyways, of course, he wasn't the strongest shinobi, but he was close to an S rank shinobi. He wasn't right there, but he had the abilities of an S rank shinobi. He had the taijutsu of an S rank shinobi, not the ninjutsu, and the chakra levels. He had them pretty high. However, he wasn't considered as an S rank shinobi because he didn't have too many feats. He was actually well, all his feats were pretty much covered up by the bigger feats. For example, Minato and the legendary Sanin's feats. So his feats weren't really up there with theirs, but he did fight a lot, and he did save a lot of people. And in fact, it was one of the reasons why the people actually won. And also, he was one of Fugaku, not Fugaku. He was actually one of Kakashi's father's friends, and he was actually one that didn't blame Kakashi's father, and he actually told him that it's fine. However, of course, the White Fang still decided to end himself. But anyways, of course, that was his own choice. But anyways, now, of course, Naruto meets him, and the dude is actually very friendly, and of course he says hello to Naruto and asks him what he's doing. And Naruto says that he wants to become stronger so he isn't attacked by the animals or anyone else. And the guy, well, of course, the man, I'm not going to mention his name, but because I'm just going to call him I don't really want to give him a name because my names are not the best. And anyways, so I'm just gonna call him Urokodaki. How about that? I don't even know how to say his name properly. Urokodaki, from Demon Slayer. If you guys haven't watched Demon Slayer, I suggest you do. It's one of my favorite anime. Even though I watched it like within a week, like a week or so ago, it's actually already one of my favorite anime because of just how good it is. Like, it's so good. Like, if I had to rate it, I don't give too many high ratings, like, unless the anime really hits the spot for me. But I'd give it an 8. In an 8. The anime right now, but the manga, that's a 9. That's a 9. The manga's a 9. Anyway, in my opinion, even though the ending wasn't as good as it could have been, but it's a good ending, and it's an ending that fit my likings. Yes, those kind of endings fit me. I like happy endings. But anyways, I'm not going to say too much. I said a bit too much already. Happy ending, but of course, all of us want a happy ending for an anime like Naruto. Like, we all wanted Jiraiya to survive. There's no one who wanted Jiraiya to die. Let's be honest. But anyways, of course, the character development was needed for Naruto. However, really killing Jiraiya off, wasn't that a bit too far? Like, fam, kill someone else off. Like, I'm sorry, but why Jiraiya, broski? Like, one of my favorite characters as well. But anyway, now we get back to it. Of course, Urokodaki actually taught Naruto a few things, and actually, Naruto considered him as his own grandfather at this point, and he called him Gramps. And every time they used to meet, they used to have a lot of fun, and Naruto would actually enjoy learning from him because, of course, and he actually enjoyed a lot of the stories from Urokodaki. And anyways, of course, Rokodaki knew a lot of jutsus. However, he didn't know the ones like the very OP ones. But he was so good at the jutsus that he could do that they were very overpowered because of just how well he used them. But anyways, now he actually doesn't realize that Naruto has wind release, and so he actually teaches Naruto a few wind release techniques. For example, the Gale Palm, the Wind Gale Palm. We all know that. I mean, Boruto used it, and anyways, he also teaches Naruto a few other techniques and different chakra releases because over time Naruto does get different chakra releases and mostly taijutsu for the beginning. So Naruto's taijutsu is actually already up there. Uh, with some Genin, and yes, Genin compared to a 5-year-old Naruto, they're much stronger than Naruto. I'm pretty sure, like 12-year-old versus a 5-year-old who doesn't even know anything. Like, let's be honest. But anyways, of course, Naruto would eventually get stronger than most Genin in the Leaf Village because of just him living in the wilderness. It would actually help him out because he has to survive somehow, right? Like, bro, if he's weak, an animal could kill him off like within seconds, let's be honest. But anyways, of course, Naruto and Urokodaki do hang out a lot, and Naruto learns a few jutsus. For example, the Kuna Shadow Clone, the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Yes, Urokodaki actually teaches a 5-year-old Naruto the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which is actually a Jonin rank jutsu because of just how much chakra he needs. And Urokodaki does know about Naruto being the Ninetales Jinchuriki, and he didn't really care. He's not scared of the Ninetales at all. And anyways, now, of course, Urokodaki and Naruto do continue their training together. But anyways, of course, Naruto and wait, Naruto actually does make Urokodaki proud. However, one day, of course, some people do find out when Naruto went, and these people were pretty much people who hated Naruto with everything they had, with all their heart. They hated Naruto a lot, and pretty much once they found out, they actually went to, they actually went towards Naruto's home or his little hut. And anyways, now Naruto and Urokodaki worked together, and once they actually arrived, Urokodaki actually did sense them. Yes, Urokodaki was actually a sensory ninja, just like Naruto. Of course, Naruto's not yet because they don't know yet. But anyways, of course, once he sensed them, Urokodaki told Naruto to get in the house, and Naruto asked why, and he just said, "Go inside and listen to me." And Naruto actually respecting Urokodaki because he was like his master. He said, "Alright," and of course, once he went in, Urokodaki actually put a genjutsu around Naruto. Yes, he put a genjutsu around Naruto, which wouldn't allow him to hear anything for a while. But once pretty much his genjutsu was over, Naruto actually started hearing again, and he heard people saying, "Where's that damn Naruto?" And pretty much Urokodaki actually injured them enough at the end that they had to escape, even though they pretty much nearly killed Urokodaki right there. But anyways, once the fight was over, Naruto went out because of pretty much the genjutsu depleting. But anyways, of course, Naruto seeing Urokodaki in that state actually sent him into a rage, which Urokodaki wasn't expecting. However, he did calm Naruto down, and he told Naruto that it's fine, and pretty much he told Naruto one last thing before he, gave his last breath, and he told Naruto to get stronger and never let people like that bring him down, and to not die to them, that's for sure, and not to be weak like him. And Naruto says, "Weak? You were pretty much, there were multiple of them, and you're so old, like it's impossible for you to win there." And anyways, of course, Urokodaki just laughs and says, "Even though I'm old, it doesn't mean I'm weak." Well, of course, Naruto then's like, "You're just contradicting yourself at this point," and he says, "Leave me alone." And anyways, now Of course, Urokodaki actually does tell Naruto about some things that he actually has hidden in his home, and he tells him that he has a few scrolls with a few ninjutsu which Naruto can learn and pretty much master over time. And Naruto did give him a burial right at the end, and pretty much Naruto then started living on his own again. And anyways, Naruto actually did start training, and it's been another year. He's now 7, and yes, Rokotoki died not when Naruto was 6, and after that, Naruto pretty much cut all contacts with the Leaf Village. For example, he wasn't even talking to the Hokage anymore. Sometimes the Hokage would come. However, those were the only times that Naruto would actually just say hello to the Hokage, and pretty much distance himself a lot. And the Hokage one day told Naruto to actually come to the village. He needs to pretty much enroll him into the academy, or he has to enroll in the academy. And Naruto says, "Who said I want to become a ninja? I don't want to become someone like who decides to kill someone else over another person." And anyways, now of course the Hokage asked why, and pretty much Naruto said, "Do you not know who Old Man Urokodaki was?" And of course the Hokage did know, and he says, "Oh, so you must have met him." And of course Naruto explains what happened to him, and he actually didn't know who the ninjas were, but he did tell the Hokage that he didn't want to become someone like that. And the Hokage said that, "I'm sorry for your loss, and I know people can be like that sometimes, but you don't have to be ninjas like them." And anyways, of course Naruto then says, and who should I be like? All ninjas are like that. And then of course the Hokage says, not all ninjas are like that. For example, the two legendary Sani, Jiraiya and Tsunade, they're really good people. The fourth Hokage gave his own life up to save people. And Naruto then says the fourth Hokage gave his life up to save murderers. What else did he do? And anyways, of course the Hokage didn't want Naruto to think like that, because that is his father, remember. But anyways, now of course Naruto was convinced to enroll into the academy, and already having a lot of power as he is because of all the training he went through with Urokodaki. Of course Naruto did inherit something that no one really knew about Urokodaki, and Urokodaki was actually part of a clan which no one knew about. And Naruto actually inherited his clan sword, and Urokodaki's clan sword. And yes, Naruto does have a sword now, and he does not carry her around in school because people would ask questions, and he doesn't want to interact with anyone. But anyways, now, and just saying, this is recorded a bit later. I did take a small little break after like 15 minutes because I just needed to do something, and I thought I should do a ship because I know a lot of people like ships, and I don't want to ruin it for them. And anyways, I know some people have been asking for a shipless Naruto. However, I don't think in this one it would make sense because of how Naruto already is, pretty depressed, and he has no hope in humanity. But anyways, now of course Naruto and Naruto does enroll into the academy, and he doesn't really care about anyone in it because he doesn't really like anyone there. He doesn't know anyone, first of all, and so he doesn't really interact with anyone except for one person who actually interacted with him first, which was Shikamaru. And of course Naruto doesn't really consider him as his friend, or him Naruto being his friend. Of course Shikamaru doesn't really mind Naruto. However, Naruto doesn't mind other people. And anyways, now Naruto does in the end pretty much become friends with Choji as well, and now he has two friends. However, he doesn't really hang out with them at all, and every time they ask him to come with him and come with them and hang out, Naruto says no. He has to do stuff, and he heads off on his own. Anyways, you hear the police. The ends. Anyways, now of course Naruto actually on his way back to the oh my days, goddamn police. On his way back to his home, he does actually meet someone, and it's actually an Uchiha. And of course Naruto doesn't know anything about the Uchiha clan or what happened. But anyways, while he was heading home, he saw this girl, and Naruto said, "What are you doing here? This is my house." And pretty much she said, "Oh, I was just wandering around." And Naruto actually recognized her from the academy, from his class, and says, "Get out." And of course uh, Tsuki is like, "Why should I?" And Naruto's like, "This is my property, can you go away?" And then she says, "No, he says Urokodaki." And Naruto says, that's my Gramps, now get out." And she said, "Oh, so that's who the grave tombstone was for." And Naruto's like, "Yeah, so I told you to get out now, go away, go back home, your parents must be waiting." And of course she says, "No one's waiting for me, so can I just stay for a bit? I just came here for a walk." And anyways, Naruto says, "Do whatever, but don't get in my way." And anyways, now of course Naruto needed to eat that day, and he was actually taking a break from training that day as well, and he went on off on his own. And of course Tsuki saw and actually followed him to wherever he was going, and she saw him fishing, and she asked, "When doesn't he just get from the shops?" And Naruto says, "None of your business. Now please shut up and let me concentrate." And anyways, of course Naruto caught a few, and pretty much while he was cooking, of course Tsuki was just hoggling at the food. And anyways, now of course Naruto did offer her food, because Naruto, not knowing too many manners, of course Urokodaki was there to teach him those kind of stuff, that kind of stuff. And Urokodaki left a very good impression on Naruto, and Naruto learned a lot from him. And so he wasn't as wild as Inosuke would be. And if you watch Demon Slayer again, like I said before, Demon Slayer is an amazing anime. I suggest you guys watch it. And of course he's not as wild as Inosuke, but because remember Naruto was pretty much raised by Urokodaki before a full year. But anyways, of course Tsuki then says she'll be heading back home tomorrow. There's the academy, and she'll see him then. And Naruto says, "Alright, I'll take you down." And Tsuki's like, "No, I can go on my own." And Naruto says, "It's dangerous at night. If something happens to you, I won't be able to take responsibility, and so I'd rather nothing happen to you than having to go through all that and people blaming me." Anyways, of course he takes her down, and then Tsuki asks, "Why does he stay up there if it's so dangerous?" And Naruto says he doesn't really care if it's dangerous or not. For him, it's not really that dangerous, because he's been living there, and the animals and the beasts or the monsters there realize who Naruto is. After all, they don't attack him anymore, because he showed his dominance and he spared their lives, so they respect him. But if they saw anyone else and trespassing into their territory, it's not going to be a nice show. Naruto cannot take responsibility, since he's pretty much the only one living there at this point. Anyways, Naruto did make friends with the animals there, and pretty much actually has a few pets. I wouldn't say pets, but wild animals are pretty much his pets at this point. And anyways, Naruto, of course, not having too many dreams or ambitions, isn't really the best character right now. Of course, Naruto has no ambitions, and the only reason he's actually just joined the academy is because of the Hokage actually making him, and he's not planning on becoming a ninja at all. However, of course, that's going to change over time. But anyways, now of course Naruto does head off on his own while Tsuki goes home. And Tsuki doesn't really have any parents, like I said before, because of the Uchiha massacre. And plus she was actually an orphan. She's not Shisui's brother or anything. She's just a girl that actually knows how to fight, and she wants to become a ninja just like her parents. Yes, she actually, of course, she was orphaned, but that's because they died during the Third Great Ninja War. And of course they left behind a safe. Well, of course her mother left something behind after her father died. Yes, she did return, but then she died later on when she went to a different mission. And after, not the third Great Ninja War, a bit afterwards, she died because of an illness, and I kind of messed up there. But her father died in the Third Great Ninja War before she was born, and yes, she was actually uh, her mother was actually pregnant when during the last few months of the Third Great Ninja War, and then he succumbed to his wounds during a great battle. And anyways, now of course there were some his body was returned to the family, and she was the one to actually hold the funeral, because the two actually never really had any family members, especially because their love was forbidden. They didn't basically, their parents didn't like each other, and after that, of course, they lost their parents. They didn't have any siblings, and that was pretty much it. So that's why Tsuki was left alone. And anyways, now Naruto and Naruto actually did arrive at the academy that day as per normal, as he's meant to, because if he doesn't, the Hokage goes and searches for him. Yes, Naruto did bonk a few times, and the Hokage wasn't angry, like angry, but he did tell Naruto to not like bunk, otherwise he won't be able to learn. And Naruto says, I don't really want to become a ninja anyway, but anyway, okay, I'll go. And anyways, now of course Naruto arrives, and pretty much Tsuki was the first one to greet him, and everyone was kind of confused because Tsuki is actually one of the most popular in the class, and she used to be friends with like Sakura, the rest, and even Hinata was her friend, but no one really thought that out of all people Tsuki would be talking to Naruto. And Naruto says, why do you have to talk to me like this? I don't even know who you are. You only came to the mountain once. Why do you have to be like this? And anyways, of course, Tsuki says, well, we're friends now, aren't we? And pretty much Tsuki is the knucklehead of the class. And anyways, of course, and Naruto says, we're not friends, we're just acquaintances. Now, please leave me alone. Naruto goes to his seat, and this time Tsuki actually does sit next to him. And of course, Shikamaru and Choji arrive, and they're like, wait, wasn't that seat kind of empty like the other day? And anyways, of course, they looked at Naruto, and Naruto just started saying, no, it's not what you think it is. He doesn't know. I don't know who she is. Leave me alone. Anyways, now, of course, after that, Naruto and after the academy finished, Naruto was heading home, and now pretty much Tsuki was following him, and Naruto's like, why are you following me? Please explain to me this. And Tsuki's like, well, I thought I could come and visit you again. And Naruto's like, listen, there's no need to visit me. I don't know why you want to do this. If it's for pity, don't bother. And anyways, of course, Tsuki's like, why should I be pitying you when you're the one who fed me the other day? And anyways, now Naruto's like, alright then, whatever, you do you. And anyways, of course, once she does get in, she sees that Naruto actually keeps his house pretty neat, unlike hers, because remember, she is like a knucklehead. She's basically like the Naruto of the class, but Naruto's still there, and he's more like the Sasuke, but at the same time the Naruto. He's basically a new personality. He's more like Shikamaru here. But anyways, now of course Tsuki actually asks Naruto where did he learn how to like clean all these things, and Naruto says, well, if I don't learn on my own, there's no one there to help me learn, so I have to do it myself. Anyways, why are you here? And Tsuki asked, I actually wanted to ask you something. I read this book in the library, and it talked about this clan, and it's a very ancient book, and it was like at the back of the shelf, and no one really read it, and the librarian said that he was going to throw it away because the clan was pretty much dead. And then she remembered pretty much seeing the oracle, and just saying, when Naruto lives, it's pretty secluded. Like, the mountain is secluded, but where he lived in the mountain was even more secluded. And pretty much she said that it was about the Urokodaki clan, and old man Urokodaki, of course. His name was Urokodaki, but that was his clan name, and he was the final survivor of his clan. However, his first name was unknown, and Naruto just thought, it's fine, it's always going to be Gramps Urokodaki for me. And anyways, now he asks, what did this book say? And she says that she has it with her, and she brings out a scroll, and Naruto does remember that she is pretty much like a prodigy according to everyone. and she's at the top of the class with Sasuke, the two Uchihas. But anyways, once he reads the book as well, he realizes that the techniques written in here, Naruto knows them, like the water breathing. Yes, Naruto knows the water breathing, and not only the water breathing, the Urokodaki clan, I'm going to say it has all the breathing styles. And guys, don't at me, I love Demon Slayer. And anyways, now of course, after this, Naruto and Tsuki do talk a bit, and Tsuki was very impressed by Naruto knowing all these things about these techniques. And Naruto only has 5 breathing. I'm joking. Naruto only has 1 breathing technique, which is the water one for now. However, one time he actually was able to tap into the breath of the sun god. However, he's not able to do it at will yet, and it was only once against the Urokodaki when he was actually training. And anyways, now of course Urokodaki gave his own sword to him in the end, but he was already planning on doing that on Naruto's 7th birthday, because that's when he actually inherited the sword from his father, who was one of the last surviving Urokodakis. But in the end, now he's gone. But anyways, now Naruto of course teaches Tsuki, and they actually do become pretty good friends over the years. And now Naruto is 11, same as Tsuki, and pretty much Naruto is able to use the the breath of the fire, breath of water, breath of the mist, breath of the flower, flower, I'm pretty sure, and the breath of the rock, and also the breath of the lightning and the wind. Pretty much he has all 5 chakra natures plus as in breaths, and he can use the 5 chakra natures as well. However, he doesn't have too many techniques of those because he hasn't really been focusing too much on it. However, during the past year, he has been focusing on it quite a bit because of Tsuki actually telling him that he should learn more jutsus as well. A swordsman is strong, however a ninja can a swordsman who is a ninja is even stronger. And Naruto said, alright then, I'll do it. And of course they started learning, and Tsuki has 4 chakra natures, a bit less than Naruto, and she always asks why Naruto never tries in the academy. And Naruto explains that he's not actually planning on becoming a ninja, he's just going to pass Gei's headband and then see where he goes after that. He might quit the academy and just leave, or well, quit being a ninja as a whole, or maybe continue. However, Tsuki does beg him to remain, and on Tsuki's 11th birthday, which was actually Tsuki's 12th birthday, which was actually a bit before Naruto, like 3 months before Naruto. Of course, Naruto promised as a birthday gift, pretty much forged the sword, and Tsuki was completely baffled on why he would do that. Like, it's actually very hard, and the Urokodakis were able to actually forge swords, and pretty much in Demon Slayer it's a whole different clan that does it, but I'm going to say that the Urokodaki clan pretty much did everything. And pretty much Naruto said, well, it took me a few years to learn how to make it, but I was planning to give it to you sooner than this, but it just took me way too long to learn. And of course Tsuki was very happy that she received a gift like this. And anyways, of course, then they did. Tsuki actually did start living near Naruto. She actually built her own home, and Naruto, of course, helped because he has all 5 chakra natures, and he helped with wood, not wood release, with his earth release, which Tsuki is actually missing earth release. Yes, the only release that she's missing is earth, so she can't use the breath of the rock yet. But Naruto knows how to, and that's why he also unlocked the earth release. And anyways, now Naruto, of course, and just saying, Tsuki knows 3 breaths: water, wind, and lightning. However, that's and the fire one is a bit harder on her, but she's starting to learn it, and this is the last year of the academy year. Anyways, now of course Naruto and Tsuki do keep training, and right now Tsuki is actually the stronger one out of the 2 when she's using her 3 Tomoe Sharingan, 2 Tomoe Sharingan. However, when Naruto gets serious and is able actually brings out, well, the breath of the sun god, which is actually a technique that he cannot use for too long, even though he's been training for so long. It's very hard on him to use because of the strain it takes on the body. However, Naruto's getting better at it, and each year he's receiving less strain from using the technique, and pretty much becoming stronger and stronger. And yes, Naruto is the stronger out of the two, but when Naruto is just using, well, when they're just fighting as ninjas with no sword skills, pretty much it's Tsuki at the top, because Naruto has still a long way to go to learn, just like Tsuki, because Tsuki is a prodigy, while Naruto is just a hard worker. But over time, he will get stronger, of course, because he's the main character, plot armor and shit. But anyways, now it's the final few months of the academy, and Naruto is finally catching up in learning enough jutsus to match Tsuki, and their strength is pretty much on par with each other, and they're on the same level at this point. They're on the same page, but of course, the two don't really compete to see who's the strongest. They just do this because they just enjoy spending time together. There's no romantic feelings yet between the two of them, not even Tsuki, not even Naruto. It's just a really good friendship, which Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino, yes, Ino actually joined Naruto's friend group. Yes, Naruto actually made friends with Ino because Ino found him a bit cool, and pretty much because of his just coldness. And she gave up on Sasuke, that's why she actually went to Naruto, but she's not like interested in him. She's not interested in anyone anymore, but she likes how Naruto is always calm and cool-headed. But anyways, of course, now Naruto becomes 12 on October, pretty much, and Tsuki's gift to Naruto. And just saying, this is basically a bit of slice of life before we get into the real action. And don't worry, guys, this will be an hour part. Like I said, I will be recording for at least an hour, and this will be a 1 hour part. I promise you right now, this will be a 1 hour part. At 30 minutes, 36 minutes, I promised you. So I will have to record for another 24 minutes. But it's fine. I don't really mind it. It's a Friday. I finished school early. I'm very energetic for some reason today. Anywho, of course, Naruto and Tsuki now are 12. And they do finally finish the academy and take their final exam. And they do very, very well, in fact. And they pass with flying colors. Of course, being pretty much the two top, well, not top in the class, because Naruto never really tried, but if Naruto was to try, he would definitely 100% be at the top of the class. But anyway, now of course Naruto and Naruto was still asked by Mizuki to actually steal the scroll of sealing for him, and Naruto actually did. But once Mizuki actually arrived, Naruto was ready with the sword, and pretty much once he pulled out, he sliced with the water breathing. He used the second form, which was the water wheel. As soon as the wind shuriken actually arrived to him, the massive one, if you guys forgot, Naruto sliced it in half, and the two parts went everywhere, well, in two different directions. Then pretty much Naruto said, well, he actually blitzed Mizuki with his body flicker, being much faster than Mizuki. He said, one more move and you die. And pretty much as he was heading towards Mizuki, he was using the water breathing 10th form, which was a continuous flux, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was the continuous flux, and pretty much a dragon came out of it. And anyway, sorry, my bad, it was constant flux. I just had to check real quick, and yes, it's constant flux. But anyways, now of course Naruto pretty much heading towards him with it. He stopped right in front of him with the dragon still behind him, until it just became water and just splashed around. And Mizuki said he gives up right before Naruto cut him apart into two pieces. And then Tsuki actually arrived and asked Naruto what he was doing, and Naruto said, well, this guy told me to steal it, and now he wanted it, and pretty much I put him down. And the Hokage saw his through his glass ball, which I actually still don't understand. What the fuck was that? But anyways, now of course Naruto and Tsuki actually returned the scroll ceiling, but before that Naruto does still one small jutsu, same as Tsuki. Tsuki steals the the fire style, Majestic Destroyer Flame, while Naruto steals the Rasengan. However, they weren't going to learn it yet because they don't have the time for it right now, because they are going to be in teams from tomorrow morning. But anyways, now in two different teams, of course. They don't know yet. But anyways, now Naruto and Tsuki were actually thanked by the Hokage, and they go off on their own, and they head home pretty much. Now, since they live literally next to each other in a goddamn forest, of course they go up the mountain, and now Naruto and Tsuki go sleep, and the next morning the teams get announced. Team 7 would actually be Tsuki, Sakura, and Sasuke, and that is because Naruto wasn't actually. Oh, sorry if you heard that, I was actually itching my ear. I need a haircut, by the way. Literally haven't had a haircut in like a month or so, and the only reason I don't want to get it yet, and I'm gonna get it tomorrow, because me and my teacher's like, hey yo, bro, not bro, but he's like, you saying my name Ruhan, you gotta get a haircut ASAP. Like literally, he said ASAP. I was like, alright, calm, and I'm going bold. Let's go, boys. I'm going bold. I'm gonna go bold. I love going bold, by the way. It just feels so nice. But anyways, I'm not sure if it's some sort of fetish or something, but I just like going bold for some reason. I don't really like stylish haircuts. I don't know why. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto and Tsuki were separated. However, Team 10 would be different. It's actually going to be Naruto, Shikamaru, and Choji. Here, of course, we're not going to be covering too much of Naruto. However, at the same time, we will. Anyways, Team 10 is actually made out of multiple people. However, Ino is still in Team 10. The only reason Naruto is in Team 10 it's because he is actually an extra person. Since Naruto, the Hokage actually saw what Naruto did and realized that he must have learned the Urokodaki techniques. He actually decided to make Naruto, allow Naruto to be in Team 10 for now. However, he would join different teams during different missions, and depending on what type of mission it is. So if it's a C rank mission, the team that is doing a C rank mission will get Naruto, while if it's a D rank mission, Naruto will just stay in the team that he currently is in. And well, of course, he's just going to keep switching around, and he doesn't have a specific team. However, during the Chunin exams, of course, Naruto will not have to take it because the Hokage already promoted him into a Chunin because of what he did to Mizuki, and how swiftly he was able to handle Mizuki. When Mizuki was a Chunin and Naruto was a Genin, Naruto was easily able to take out Mizuki with ease. Well, easily able to take out Mizuki with ease. He was able to take out Mizuki with ease and with barely any trouble. And of course, the Hokage was very, very, very impressed by Naruto, and so he was in Team 10 for now. And this was actually revealed to everyone except for the Chunin bit, but it was revealed that Naruto would be actually changing teams, and it's because the Hokage said so. And of course, Naruto didn't really mind going to different teams because he's actually friends with Team 10. He's friends with pretty much everyone in it, but Team 8, it's kind of different. However, he was actually able to make friends with Shino and Hinata. He's not the best of friends with them because he doesn't hang out all the times with them. However, he's actually very good friends with them, and they don't really mind him. They actually enjoy spending time with him, in fact. And anyways, now when they do spend time with him, of course, Naruto would have to join different teams over time. However, for now he's in Team 10, and he didn't really have to do any missions because the Hokage actually asked him to go and watch each team doing their bell test. And yes, each team did their bell test. I'm just going to say every single team did their bell test, and Team 7 was actually the last one to do it. All the teams did it on the same day, just in a different hour, except for Team 7 because Kakashi couldn't be asked. And yes, now Naruto is watching Team 7 do the bell test, and he already knew what the bell test was all about from the very beginning because of how it was just set up. There's no way a Genin would be able to beat a Jonin, and even him, who doesn't really care about being Shinobi knows about that, and is that there's no way they can beat them alone. It's not an individual test. It's obviously a test to do with teamwork. But anyways, of course, Naruto didn't really care how each team did. In fact, the only team that he really cared about was Team 7. However, and Team 10, Team 8, he didn't really care. But, of course, after seeing how they work together, he actually saw that maybe he should care a bit more, just like they care about each other. And yes, Kiba actually did save Shino and Hinata once by actually hitting them from a genjutsu that was set on them by Kuronai. But anyways, of course, he sees how important teamwork is, and he actually enjoys watching these fights, and he wishes he could actually join in. However, he is not able to. And anyways, now it's Team 7, and the Team 7 is actually going to get Naruto for the first month. And yes, they are going to get Naruto because of Naruto's request to Hokage. He actually wanted to be in Team 7 for the first month, and because the pretty much Tsuki is his best friend, and the Hokage was like, maybe I should have just put you there anyway, but okay, you can do it. And the other teams didn't really mind. They don't really care if Naruto is in their team, because remember, they don't really know how strong Naruto is. However, they don't really care. And anyways, like I said multiple times, and now, of course, Naruto actually watches Team 7 doing their bell test. However, he was heading towards watching the bell test, and of course he had heard Kakashi explaining everything. However, there was a twist to it. Kakashi then said, "Well, you see, I already know something about you, Naruto, so you'll be the one testing them, because I can't be asked, to be honest." Naruto then says that it's not fair. Naruto's not as strong as a Jonin yet, and it would be unfair. But Kakashi says, "You may not be strong as a Jonin, however, you're hiding a lot of power, aren't you? I can tell. You weren't fighting at your full strength. You could have killed Mizuki." And Naruto asks, "How do you know?" And just saying, this was actually a bit of their private conversation. Team 7 thought that they were going to fight Naruto anyway, so they actually went off. And Naruto was complaining why he had to do it, and anyways, they were at Team 7 was actually hiding. And pretty much Kakashi said that, "Let's see just how well you work." And Kakashi was actually very intrigued by Naruto. That's why he was actually doing this. However, once Tsuki actually started attacking Naruto realized that he needs to go pretty much all out, and he wouldn't allow Tsuki to get the bells that easily. And even though she's his best friend, he's still going to make it hell for her. And anyways, now, of course, Tsuki had some trouble adjusting to Naruto's movements, because Naruto changed his fighting style, and like on the spot. And it's actually a very, very important skill to have. Well, not to have, but a very strong skill that Naruto has, being able to just change his fighting style midway the fight, which he actually learned from Urokodaki. Urokodaki was actually able to change his fighting style midway a fight. That's why he was actually so strong, and the Hokage actually knew how strong Urokodaki was, same as the fourth Hokage. However, Urokodaki made sure that his feats weren't pretty much revealed to the Leaf Village, because he's always been very secretive about himself, and he wants to continue that secrecy about himself and his clan, and he doesn't want people to come to know about how his clan has these special techniques. And especially because he was actually a very, very wary of Danzo, just like pretty much everyone was, except for the third Hokage. The third Hokage just took his words for it, and he took it for granted. He pretty much believed everything that Danzo would say, because remember, they were like friends back in the days, and I think they were best friends until Danzo got jealous or something. But anyways, we move. Of course, Naruto actually pretty much changed his fighting style, and he was actually able to debate Tsuki into attacking him like she normally would, and then pretty much countering it in a manner that he would backflip and actually kick her chin and send her flying again. And Naruto says that even though you're my friend, it doesn't mean I'm going to let you win that easily. I watched how the other teams did, and right now the other teams are much stronger than all of you. And pretty much Tsuki asked what's wrong with Naruto. I know it. And anyways, Naruto was actually trying to make it apparent that she wasn't going to beat Naruto on her own, and even though he's not like, you know, Kakashi, he isn't weak, and he can fight as well. And anyways, now, of course, Tsuki actually went back into the bushes, realizing that Naruto actually changed his fighting style, and she needed to understand how he fought. So she made a few shadow clones which attacked Naruto, and Naruto, of course, she saw how Naruto fought, and she thought that Naruto could only change there right then and there, just for that moment. And so she attacked, and she knew how Naruto was going to move. However, she wasn't expecting another fighting style change, which fully sent her flying. And Naruto was expecting a bit better from Tsuki. Remember, she's smart, and smarter than him, in fact. And then Tsuki's like, enough joking around. If you're going to be like that, I'll stop. I'll stop playing your game, and actually starts trying for once. And she was actually able to get a few hits on Naruto. However, Naruto then actually counterattacks again. Sorry, which then Sasuke actually realizes that he needs to help, actually realizing that this test isn't about who can get the bells, it's actually about teamwork. And once Sakura sees Sasuke pretty much getting into the action, she actually gets in as well, and starts attacking Naruto at the same time, all of them. And Kakashi realizes that maybe he should took the test himself, because he realizes that Naruto maybe against all three of them might just lose easily. And of course he was going to think about taking their test again, being like, oh, so basically now you fought Naruto, it's now my turn to test you. And of course he was thinking of it. However, then out of nowhere, Naruto's like, you're all so slow. And pretty much as he says that, he pretty much goes into a whole different state of power, and pretty much slaps all of them away. Not slaps, but pretty much blows every single one of them away, except for Tsuki, who's actually able to pretty much withstand it. And she was kind of confused on how Naruto was actually able to do that. It was pretty, he was on the verge of losing, and out of nowhere he just did this. She herself never saw the side of Naruto, how strong Naruto truly was. And so she actually activated her free Tomoe Sharingan. Yes, she actually unlocked the free Tomoe Sharingan by now, and pretty much started fighting Naruto all out. And Naruto's like, finally you're showing me your full power. And Tsuki's like, I never thought I would have to. And anyways, of course, Naruto and Tsuki do go at it, and Sasuke actually joins in with his Sharingan. Yes, he actually unlocked the Sharingan. He's not on 3 Tomoe, not even 2, he's only on 1, but still, it's the Sharingan, and he actually made him exponentially stronger. Sakura actually wanting to help Sasuke so badly, she actually joins in the fight, actually being dead weight. However, in the end, Tsuki was actually able to make an opening for Sasuke and Sakura, yes, even Sakura, to take the belts from Naruto. And Naruto was going to try and pretty much using one of his techniques to get away. However, he smiles and actually lets them take it, and Kakashi actually notices this. Naruto didn't even use his sword, and Tsuki was using a sword, and he was using a kunai. Yes, Naruto is that strong, and he was about to use a different breathing style and go all out. Not all out, but he was going to go from water breathing to wind breathing, which would allow him to become a bit faster. And pretty much, and just saying, Naruto knows the breath of love or something. I don't even know. Like, you remember the love pillar? Yeah, he knows her breathing style as well. But anyways, Naruto was going to use the wind breathing style. He has all the breathing styles. Just saying, that's just because I want Naruto to be the most OP guy ever. And anyways, of course, Naruto was going to. Kakashi actually realized this, but he stopped right before he was going all out. And Kakashi did actually question Naruto, while Team 7 was actually pretty much becoming acquainted with each other, even though Sakura and Tsuki knew a bit about each other. Sasuke was actually intrigued by Tsuki, how well she actually fought, and asked her how did she get this strong. And Sasuke actually talking for the first time to them was actually very intriguing, especially to Sakura, because Tsuki really didn't care. However, she explained that she trained really hard, and Sasuke is like, alright then. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto did tell Kakashi that he thought of actually going a bit harder on them. However, he realized that if he did, they would stand no chance, so he decided not to. And Kakashi's like, I see, so you were hiding more power. Naruto says, well, more or less, yeah. And pretty much tells him that, anyway, I'll be going now. I'm pretty sure you're not going to do any missions today. It's tomorrow, right? I'll see you tomorrow then. And anyways, of course, Naruto is heading out, and Tsuki says, oh wait, I'm coming with you. And Naruto heads back to the woods. And remember, Naruto spends most of his time in the mountains with Tsuki, same as Tsuki. They barely spend any time in the thing, and they keep training. However, today they were actually going to take a rest and just hang out, and Naruto and Tsuki pretty much just spend their time together. And anyways, now after this, the next day Team 7 did meet up, and Naruto actually met up with them as well. And pretty much they did their first mission while Naruto was just watching how they worked together, and they actually worked very well together, even though Sakura was a bit here and there, like doing nothing but sometimes doing something, getting scratched by the cats. But still, she did something, being the distraction for Sasuke and Tsuki to capture the cats. And pretty much the first mission was over, and they were let off, and well, not let off, but they went home afterwards. And Naruto actually started training, actually told Team 7 that they're not going anywhere yet, they will have to train with Kakashi. And Kakashi's like, wait, what? And Naruto's like, you're the sensei, aren't you? You're meant to be teaching them. Anyways, of course, Naruto actually says, I'll be leaving now, and tells Tsuki that he'll be in the mountains. And Tsuki's like, aren't you gonna stay? And Naruto's like, I don't feel like it, I'm just gonna go train. And says goodbye. And Tsuki actually didn't want to go with Naruto, however she realizes that this is her sensei and she has to train with him. And anyways, now and Team 7 did start training with him. And yeah, that's pretty much it for part 1. Hope you all enjoyed it. I know I said an hour, but allow it, it's 3 minutes off, and the outro is probably going to be an hour, and it's going to bring it to an hour plus the intro. And please guys, let me off. I want to sleep. I actually want to sleep. Anyway, after this I won't. No, what do you mean after this? Teams, what? Hope you all enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe. This was the King of Weebs there, and don't forget to subscribe to Ratreet, my friend Hxmesh, Miniman123, also my friend, and the second channel DB Lover. And don't forget to get your good quality anime merch from Beautiful Halo. 5% off on your next $49 plus order with the code with the code MEME, MEME, and 10% off on your next $99 plus order with the code MEMES, MEMES. And you can get your good quality lamps from lamptee.com. And also don't forget to get use the promo code lamptee dash the King of Weebs, and capital L and then AMPTEE, lamptee, LAMPTEE, like I said before, with the capital L dash the King of Weebs, all capital except for O and F, just like on YouTube. And don't forget to follow Shokiro on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you want, even though I don't post. And oh shit, oh fuck. And also join the Discord server. It's kind of dead right now, but it actually happened right after like I got raided or nuked. Like some dickhead decided to like nuke the server. I'm pretty sure I already talked about it on the channel, but if you want to join and make it alive again, you can. And anyways, my ducklings, you're dismissed. This was the King of Weebs here, and peace.